Good afternoon. Welcome back to Siblings A and J Gardening. Just taking a quick look through these corn. As you can see, the squash is pretty well burnt up. We have a few more ears that, well, you know what? I may be able to pick that ear. That ear right there. I'm gonna pick it and see what I can get. First 3 ears of corn. It's a nice day here in southern Indiana. It's warm, but the humidity isn't bad. I'm just sitting here picking these peppers. I made pepper jelly, so it looks like I'm going to be making some more pepper jelly and probably pickling some peppers as well. The garden is winding down now. The squash and zucchini plants have pretty well burned up. The cucumbers have burned up as well. I've got to check the green beans and see what needs to be picked over there. As I've stated in another video, my brother hasn't been able to run the tiller because we keep getting these pop-up storms, so the ground is much too wet to run the tiller, and so the garden is looking pretty weedy and messy, but it's something we can't help. I'm just going to keep picking these peppers here. It's a bunch of them. These are the Thai peppers. You know, one thing you have to be careful with when you're picking peppers is they're so delicate that sometimes when you try to pick them, you're pulling off the whole branch. I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. And I could probably have a better feel if I didn't have gloves on. But every time I work in the garden, I always have my hat on. I have on long sleeves and long pants. I see some people when they're working in their garden and they have on sleeveless shirts and short sleeves, and then they're picking green beans, or they're picking peppers, or cutting okra, or picking the squash, and the squash is kind of prickly and scratchy. I just can't do it. I've got to have my protection on. Makes me itch. And then when you're hot and sweaty and clammy, and then that prickly stuff. So I always wear long sleeves and always have my hat on and gloves most of the time. I just kind of think of the protective wear, like long sleeves is protecting me from the sun. No different than you go sitting underneath the tree to sit in the shade. I think it makes you hotter when you have the short sleeves or the sleeveless shirts on, to me. I'm out here pruning the tomatoes. We keep getting rain and wind, so I've been pruning the tomatoes. And typically I wouldn't pick the tomato when it looks like this, but with the rain, the extra water is making some of them burst, so I'm going ahead and picking those. And a few of the branches I had to use the Velcro on them, but we finally got rid of the spider mites. I dusted them, and then when my brother came back into town, he sprayed them. So they're gone, thank goodness. But I'm just gonna keep pruning and seeing what I can do out here. Like I said, the garden's pretty well drying up. The tomatoes will have until the fall. The peppers will have until the fall. But the rest of it is pretty well burnt up. I think I spoke too soon. I think I see spider mites on this plant here. I don't know if you all can see that or not. Let's see. You see those little red bugs? Those are spider mites. So I'm gonna have to dust them this evening. I just dusted the tomato plants with this little device. It's called Dust and Miser by Earth Duster. And this is what I used in the duster. And it's really simple to use. You just hold this handle and you turn this little crank and the dust comes out of this end here. I think I'm gonna be picking that watermelon soon. And this is some type of melon. I don't think it's cantaloupe, but it looks like it's starting to dry up too by the vine, so I'll be picking that soon. Made it to the green beans now. Looks like we're gonna have a nice mess of green beans. Some of them are muddy because of all the rain we've gotten, but I'm gonna get a nice picking out of this. It's just a peaceful day today. It's a little warm, but I'm getting a really nice breeze. You know, I was thinking while I'm sitting here picking these, when I was a kid, how we used to sit at the kitchen table and pick the beans and shell the peas and shuck the corn. We'd go strawberry picking together. I know Daddy says when he was a little boy, he'd go down to Madisonville and stay with his grandparents, and they'd get up early in the morning and work out in the garden because they lived off of the land. Go pick blackberries and put all that stuff away for the winter.